In this video, let's take a closer look at 3 key solar metrics that will help you to choose the right sheer fabric for your motorized blinds, not just for style, but for comfort and performance. First, we have the solar transmittance, TS. This is the percentage of the total solar energy that passes through the fabric into the space, which includes visible light and heat. A high TS, like 20%, means more sunlight and heat get through. It brightens the room and provides more natural light, but on the other hand, it can lead to glare and overheating. A low TS, like 5%, blocks more solar radiation. It is great for keeping the room cool, but on the other hand, it provides less daylight. So, for example, if I need to specify roller blinds sheer fabric in a meeting room or a workspace where the windows are south-facing, meaning that they receive direct sunlight most of the day and therefore increases glare and heat gain, leading to high cooling cost, I would choose a fabric with a low TS, like between 5 to 10%. It will help reducing the HVAC cooling load and will minimize glare on screens, making the space more comfortable for the occupant, saving energy with better visual comfort during video calls or presentation. If, on the other hand, my windows are north-facing, receiving indirect sunlight all day, in this case, I will specify fabric with a high TS, like between 20 to 30%, which will let ample natural daylight and therefore reducing lighting costs. Then we have the solar reflectance, RS, also in percent. This is how much solar energy, light and heat reflected away by the fabric. This is often influenced by its color and texture. For example, a light color fabric will have an RS of about 60%, which means that it will be highly reflective. And dark color fabric will have an RS of about 10% and therefore less reflective. So, if the windows in my working space are south-facing, I may want to use a fabric with a high RS in order to reflect the solar radiation. On the other hand, to reduce glare on screen, I may want to ensure the fabric has also a low TS, transmittance, as we previously discussed. Now, if my windows are north-facing, receiving a softer daylight all day to maximize natural daylight without relying too much on artificial light, I can use a darker tone fabric with a low RS, like around 10%, to allow light diffusion without glare. It will also provide a softer view of the outside, which I can combine with a medium to high TS, transmittance, to bring daylight in and save cost linked to artificial light. The third parameter is the solar absorbance, AS. It is the percentage of solar energy the fabric absorbs, as opposed to transmit or reflects. Let's remind ourselves that some of this absorbed energy will later radiate into the room as heat. So, if my workspace windows are south-facing, exposed to strong direct sunlight most of the day with large amount of solar gain and glare, especially in the summer, I will select a fabric with a low AS, between 10 to 20%, for example. Less heat will be absorbed by the fabric, which means that less heat will radiate back into the space, which will help keeping the room cooler and reduce reliance on HVAC in the summer. And to deal with the winter months, I'll have to consider and pair AS solar absorbance with the other heat retention strategies, TS, the solar transmittance, and RS, the solar reflectance. This will give me a view on how the fabric will impact heat and glare all year round. For my north-facing windows with very little direct sunlight throughout the day, I could use fabrics with a higher AS, like between 40 to 50%. The fabric will absorb more solar energy and will release a gentle warmth back into the room and therefore reduce heating demand in the colder months. I will also have to pay attention that the room doesn't tend to overheat or have limited ventilation for the well-being of the occupants. As we just saw, we will have to very often pair one solar performance with the others, as the total amount of solar energy must go somewhere. That's why TS, solar transmittance, plus RS, solar reflectance, plus AS, solar absorbance, always add up to 100%. Which means that when selecting a sheer fabric for my roller blinds, I have to consider how those three parameters work together to find a good combination to match the purpose of the room. Whether it is a focused workspace or a common area like break rooms or recreational spaces or a circulation zone such as a lobby or corridors. I will have to assess the orientation of the building so the fabric as specified contribute to the well-being of the occupant, improve productivity, and save cost linked to HVAC and artificial lights. Voilà. There you have it, how to specify roller blind sheer fabrics. I hope you find this information useful, and if you have any question with regards of solar performance when selecting fabric for your motorized roller blinds, please let me know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Adelux YouTube channel so you can be updated when the next video is released. Thank you very much, good luck, and talk to you again on the next tutorial.